back to the entertaining and mortifying Comic Vault. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
Today, Eric and I are going to tackle Last Stand of the Wreckers. Again, we were going to make this a Transformers theme show for the Omnibus this time, and we had so many other things we ended up deciding against that. Maybe down the road we'll end up doing another an actual Transformers show. So here's our one Transformers thing. And this is a thing that we've been kicking back and forth talking about for a long time. And I was actually surprised you didn't have this. You had to order it. Or did you have it at one time?
I do have it, and I did have it one time. It got like sun damaged.
Oh, okay.
It like sat in the back of a car.
Okay, this might not be interesting to anybody else. I
Yeah.
thought maybe you never owned it.
No. I did own it. I might still have that in that box of damaged comics.
Okay. So before we sink our teeth into this, and this is going to be kind of tough for me. I'm going to need Eric to really run point on this one because I don't know anything around this, and I don't feel like this is the easiest thing to just pick up and read.
I think that's fair.
It's not impossible, and it's a good standalone story, and it's not holding your hand, which I appreciate, but like I don't have, not being a big Transformers fan, like a big sense of some of these characters before we get into this. I have to get used to like status quo things, like, oh yeah, okay, so Optimus is gone, and Megatron is gone, and
Well, Optimus is gone. Megatron is.
Optimus is not gone?
I'm pretty sure Optimus is.
I was very confused about that, because in some places they would talk about him like he was around, and in other places it seemed like they were talking about him like he wasn't, and so I was lost on that.
No, I'm pretty sure he's around.
Somehow at some point I got it in my head that he wasn't.
I'm also pretty sure Megatron's not dead. They say he's dead. He's not dead.
But they think he is.
Yeah. I think that's when he's in prison. It's a whole thing. I actually think less of this is pre-established than you might think.
Oh, interesting. Because I was going to ask you before we sunk our teeth into this to just give us some background on this. And
So the concept of the Wreckers comes from the old UK comics, which was essentially the the Dirty Dozen of the Transformers kind of thing, and they were Twin Twist and Top Spin were both in the Wreckers.
Because I thought this read like we were supposed to already know what the Wreckers were. Even though it gives you like the breakdown of their code and everything,
yeah.
It still reads like, I still at the end of the day feel like I'm not getting a great sense of what the difference is supposed to be between a Wrecker and an Autobot. It seems like they're elite Autobots.
They are like the Autobot Kill Squad. Like they are the.
Like you're not born one, you have to be picked to be one.
Yeah. They're like the elite group, and like they have a huge. There's a really high like mortality rate. Like a lot of people don't make it off their first mission, like that kind of a thing.
And they're aware of that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I don't think the Wreckers exist before this in IDW continuity.
Oh, okay.
We certainly never have a story around them. Like a lot of this is so like Twin Twist and Top Spin were original Wreckers, as was Impactor. Impactor never existed as a toy. He was created for the comics and whatnot. But a lot of those characters. This is the introduction, and Overlord does not exist before this comic.
Well, Overlord reads like this is his introduction, but everybody else feels like they've been around.
No, almost all of them are introduced. Cup, Ultra Magnus, the Girl, and Springer, I believe, have all appeared before this. Everyone else,
I mean, the Girl definitely reads like what, Verity?
Yes, who I think is probably the weirdest thing for this coming in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like if you ever read anything IDW, even having read like she just kind of disappears at one point during Simon Furman's run, and they just picked her back up to do this story.
She reads like the thing that's supposed to modernize it to me, where like it reads like mostly G1, but then she seems like a real 2000s character.
That's kind of how the IDW comics start. She's there's a word in that first issue that's just the most dated thing where it's like.
Oh yeah,
where it's like no. In the first issue of like IDW Transformers,
because she said something that I thought was really dated here, but I can't remember what it was.
Wi-Fi hitchhiker or something like that.
That's
like
hilarious.
some like made up like.
I don't remember what it was. She said something that seemed really dated here too.
But no, this is actually the introduction for a lot of these characters. Like I said, I can't say for sure. I'm pretty sure this is the introduction to the Wreckers for the IDW universe. Most pre-knowledge you would have is from other sources. Like some of these characters exist. It's the bios on the back of the toy and things like that.
Interesting.
Which is part of the thing.
Now, is IDW a straight up reboot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, IDW is a 100% straight up reboot.
Because the flavor of this is so authentically G1, I didn't know how much of it counted. Like.
Yeah. No. It's a complete reboot.
Like this could have been a sequel to 86.
Yeah, yeah. No, it could have.
And I don't mean to just go to the one thing I know very well, but like the flavor of it is a lot like that.
Yeah.
Like I listened to the soundtrack of that movie reading this.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It probably fits perfectly.
It does.
I bet it does. No, and that, I mean, the Transformers movie is the unifying thing across all Transformers fandoms. But so this is, oh man, I just had his name. I know his last name's Roach. I don't want to mess up his first name. I want to say it's Jim or James. No, Nick Roche. It's James Roberts, Nick Roche. So this is kind of Nick Roche's baby. Nick Roche is the artist, except for on one issue you probably didn't even notice, but Guido Guidi steps in for an issue.
I did notice.
You did notice?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Guidi does a pretty good Nick Roche.
I didn't even look. I wasn't sure if it was a different artist while I was looking at it, and then I forgot to look again, but now that you've said that, I definitely picked that up.
Okay. I think Guidi does
Looks
a pretty good Nick Roche. So this is kind of Nick Roche's baby. It was his first writing thing, as far as I'm aware. It was a little heavy for him, or he was a little bit... Writing and drawing was a lot, so he brings in his friend James Roberts. James Roberts goes on to be the greatest Transformers writer of all time, kind of a thing. So my big thing going back to this, because I only read this once or twice before.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but just real quick.
Yeah.
So how much IDW continuity is there before this? Is kind of what I meant by background. Like.
Oh, okay.
I want to know how early this is.
It's not super early.
Oh, okay.
So we have all of Simon Furman's stuff, which is 5 or 6 IDW minis, like 6 issues. And I think this either comes out during or after All Hail Megatron, which was kind of their big relaunch after Simon Furman left. So this might be during the ongoing, but like it's been probably like 5 years.
Because I'm telling you, it reads like there's a lot of continuity before this, and like I'm kind of just dropped in without a parachute.
There is, but a lot of the character stuff isn't. Almost all the character stuff is original to this book.
Sure, but mythology and idea stuff.
That's fair. No,
because I have to learn what the rules are for a lot of things through this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all really cool and really interesting. But with Sparks and stuff, and sometimes it reads like I'm supposed to know that stuff already.
Okay, some of it you probably is invented for this.
Interesting. Okay, all right.
Like the Twin Spark thing. That's, I don't think, a pre-established thing. The big computer that like runs that, which is an amazing idea.
It's a cool idea.
That's this. Like
it exists to read guilt.
Yeah, and to judge guilt, like to
judge guilt.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's great.
No, I love, one of the things I'm learning about Transformers, or I'm learning that I love most about Transformers, is the stuff that is technological and had to have been created, but feels spiritual and like something other. Yeah. Worldly, or like celestial.
Mm-hmm.
Where like science becomes magic.
Yeah. Well, and there are dark sciences in Transformers. like there's occultists,
because the Guild Machine
they do the dark sciences.
The Guild Machine reads like a dark oracle to me.
Yeah, but it's all romantic, and it makes sense in the science fiction context.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing that James Roberts does a lot and stuff like that. Where it's just it's thinking about Transformers now, how society would operate.
That was my favorite stuff in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 3 coolest things in this, I think, are the Guild Machine.
Okay.
Overlord. Who
of course,
is an
of
awesome
course.
villain.
Yeah.
He's so interesting and mortifying, and
there's
talk about him.
There's a point in More Than Meets the Eye where we find out the Overlord's body is being stored on their ship, and he wakes up. And he just starts murdering people going throughout the ship.
Well, of course he does! Because he wants to be entertained!
There's this character that like you've been reading for like 20 issues and you really like, and he's like going to tell his buddy something, he turns the corner, it's Overlord, and Overlord just crushes him, and he's just dead. It's great.
No, he's a complete sadist. He's really interesting. And then the third thing is the moral conundrum of who's going to have to sacrifice themselves and why is it an elitist thing?
Yeah. No, that's great. That stuff's really great. I mean, Okay, well, hold on, because I went back to it for a second. So the thing about coming back to this for
Sorry,
me,
I'm jumping ahead.
Is the thing about coming back to Wreckers for me is I read Wreckers once or twice when it came out. It blew my mind. I was like, this is the best Transformers thing there's ever been. Going back to it, it's still great. There are 70 issues of this level of quality.
So we've moved past it.
It's not even that necessarily like we've done better. It's just like, oh yeah, this is what James Roberts' Transformers comics are like. It's just like this for 70 issues. Where like it's really fun and like, but also smart and horrifying and like really dense and like.
Does it remain constantly epic, or is this an epic in the middle of smaller things that happen?
He kind of writes in seasons. So it's like 22 issue seasons. So like it ebbs and flows throughout more than meets the eye. I mean, everything feels big. Everything feels important because lives are in danger.
Because obviously this isn't Unicron big, and it's not like into the universe big, but it feels pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, while this is going on, the Decepticons have taken over Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No. Megatron is running Earth at this point, or has just lost control of Earth, which is why they think he's dead. I forget exactly.
Well, because there's some talk about somebody needing to be sent back to Earth, but I didn't know what the status quo was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's during All Hail Megatron right after All Hail Megatron. But yeah.
Okay, All Hail Megatron is another story I've actually heard of.
Yeah. It's not great.
Is it not?
It is 5 issues stretched to 12. It's not painful. It's not overly wordy.
Okay, but IDW
it has like no words.
IDW comics tend to have the opposite problem.
It is also
where they tend to be condensed before they're stretched.
It is also the closest that they've ever gotten to.
I say that TNG Doctor Who has that problem.
Yeah,
but
it also is the most G1 the art has ever looked, and it is Guido Guidi, who's the guy aping Nick Roach here. But that book looks like the cartoon. It's really stunning.
Okay, fourth best thing.
Yeah.
The art in this is lovely.
I love Nick Roach. I wish he would do it more, and I wish he would do other things. He does do some other things, but like I want him on like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or something
he would
like
look
that.
Amazing on Spider-Man.
Yeah. So yeah, like going back to this, I'm like, this is still great, but it's
or X-Men.
Wolverine, I guess.
Like him on Wolverine.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. But like, I was just like, this is great. It's the same level of great as the rest of the things James Roberts does. It's like it's still really good.
You're like, oh, why are we just reviewing this run then?
For me, the best thing, probably my 2 favorite things are the things that stick with. Well, there are 3 things that stick with me. Like not having read this in a couple of years, there are 3 things that stick with me. The first one is when they crash land and the guy's like Wreckers combined, and then Overlord starts laughing and then murders him.
Yeah,
I love that so much. No, it's the Pova stuff. It's this is the legend of history, and then this is how it really happened, and it's so bleak and it's so depressing. I love that. Like that's the thing that I take away from this book is the legend this isn't a word, the legendification of history.
Yeah.
And like specifically war. That there are great wars. It's that Yoda thing, right? Right? Like wars don't make one great. And so like the way that Iron Fist thinks of it when he tells the stories that it's this big epic thing, and then you see how it really happened, and it's just like sickening.
Yeah, I didn't even completely pick up on that.
Okay. Yeah, no, you were seeing the same event twice. And the first time, so like one of the big things is, the 2 big moments in that flashback is the first time he puts a gun through Springer, and Springer says, shoot through me. I'll engage my, like pain dampeners or something.
Yeah.
And then he shoots through him. And then...
and importantly, he can't engage his pain dampeners, and then the guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do it anyway.
Well,
or that's what we find out later.
Yeah, that's what we find out. Yeah. So the first time he says,
I didn't even realize that's what was going on.
Yes.
I knew there was something I was missing.
Yes.
With this.
So the first time he says, engage your. I'll engage my pain dampeners. And he shoots through them, and then he goes down, and there's something with the. It's not Task Force X. It's something X. And he's like, and like something's gonna happen. He goes, no, this ends now, and like he goes and he kills him. This is a big heroic thing. Then we replay that later. We see what really happened, which is Springer. It's one of his first missions. He's like a young kid, and Impactor says, "I have to shoot through you." He says, "Please don't do that." and then Impactor says, well,
It's like, no, it's necessary.
just engage your pain dampeners, and he's like, that's not a thing, and then he shoots through him, and he's screaming, because before, in the first time around, because the Wrecker's like catchphrase is wreck and rule, and the first time he's like, shoot through me, and then he's like yelling like, yeah, like wreck and rule, and the second time he's just screaming in agony, and then you find out that the Task Force X guys, whatever X, the first, I forget what happens the first time, but it's like like the line is drawn here and no further. This time what really happened is they surrendered, and most of them were tied up, and Impactor goes in and just murders them.
Yeah.
No, it's all about like
I got all of the things that were really happening later, but somehow I missed that we were seeing events that were those events. I don't know if that's on me or the book, but I did not understand that.
Oh, I mean that's something that most resonates with me. That
Okay.
and Inferno's whole thing about where they keep asking like, why do you look like Optimus Prime?
Yeah.
And he finally gets there. He's like this is how I die. Like Optimus Prime's gonna see that him and I are the same. And then he dies in a stupid, pathetic way, because that's what this book is about: is dying in stupid, pointless ways. Because that's how it really happens. Yeah. Nobody goes out in the blaze of glory. You always, yeah. No, and I love it. I love it so much for that.
Well, I mean, like some people do go out in a blaze of glory. I think the book is kind of about second stringers, right?
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because we find out that even the Legends, it's not like that. Like that's the thing with Impactor and Springer is they are the big dogs. They are the Wreckers.
Yeah.
And when you look at what actually happened with them, it wasn't a big heroic, save the day kind of a thing. It was much more twisted, much more human.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then like sacrificing your spark, even though it's not like a big blaze of glory thing,
is something you could.
Would it is more of a.
But that's not how Inferno dies. Inferno dies trying to hold them off, and he's like, "I will hold them off," and then they run away, and they're like, "He's probably giving them a good one. Like he's not gonna make them these." And it cuts back, and he's just torn to pieces. Like he didn't fight at all. Like he's just dead. I love it so much. But yeah, I don't know why Ultra Magnus is in this book.
Yeah.
He's just kind of there to be like, all right, go do this. Now, we will do really cool things with Ultra Magnus later, but in Wreckers, Ultra Magnus is interesting in the IW universe because he isn't Autobot or Decepticon really. He works for a higher power that is like the laws of the galaxy, and he's kind of trying to keep the Autobot and Decepticon war from exactly...
Is this just an IDW? This
is just IDW.
Created?
Yeah. Is that he works for like a larger law enforcement division of the universe that wants to keep the Autobot and Decepticon war from spilling across the entire universe and like ruining everyone else's lives.
I mean, that's way more interesting than what he is in G1.
Yeah, where he's just a soldier. I mean, I love G1 Ultra Magnus, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly why he's here. They mentioned Grimlock. He was supposed to be here. They just couldn't find room for him. But this is a book about...
They try to make you think they killed him for 5 seconds, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to kill off Grimlock in this book.
Yeah. But no, they've... It's... I think the point of view characters are the second stringers. But the whole thing is that they're on the Wreckers. Like, they're the newbies. Like, they could become great. I think you're coming in with them, but... They were good enough to be on the Wreckers, and they could become legends, but they didn't.
But on the battlefield, like, everybody dies the same way.
Yeah.
We're all mortal.
Yeah. Nobody's, like, super cool or anything.
Yeah, or even if they are, like, it's scary, and it's not, a good thing.
And what I really like is I mean, as well as Wreckers was received, it's not like all of James Roberts' stuff is as bleak as this. Mm-hmm. It gets fun and bouncy. Like, it also goes to dark places too, but like it's not like the thing that's happened so often where it's like, oh, that was successful, make everything like that.
Make it so dark.
Everything's gonna be so dark, it's gonna be so brutal.
Well, Tom Waltz's Ninja Turtles is like that.
Yeah. But I also think that
makes this so authentically, or made it authentically G1 in my mind was dialogue, was like the flavor of the banter and stuff.
One of the things that I think is really funny is, so it's super violent. Like, it's super violent. That was actually at Hasbro's request.
Oh, interesting.
Because they wanted people to know that they were dead. The reason this book is as violent as it is and people die in such horrific ways is they want you to know they're not getting fixed. Because it is hard to tell sometimes with Transformers. They want you to know they are dead.
And I still had that problem.
Okay.
I still had that.
Okay.
You say it's really violent. I didn't see it.
Really?
I have a hard time looking at robot violence and seeing violence, I guess. Like, I had this with the 86 movie, of course, where people always talked about how, all these characters were killed. And I had to watch 2 or 3 times before I realized that people were dying in that movie. I just couldn't tell. Everybody looks the same to me, and it's robots, and... when they talk about it, it seems horrific, but if nobody says anything, there's some really good visual storytelling in this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the nature of the beast. I don't think comics is the best place for Transformers. I've always felt that from the few things that I have looked at, and this is supposed to be one of the best things. I still feel that way.
I wonder if you would feel less that way if you read more of it. If you just
part
sat
of
there
why I said it was difficult to jump into this.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, I mean the telling characters is part thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would get easier just as you expose yourself more to it.
I'm not sure. Because I'm sure anybody that's actually into Transformers watching this is like, okay, well, there's a newbie that just needs to read to look at more of this stuff. But I've read a few things here and there, and I always feel that way.
But I think most people that read Transformers comics come in from we just know Transformers.
Yeah.
Transformers comics aren't really for comic people; they're for Transformers people that also read comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
And that's why you can get away with it in the
where
meeting,
he's just ripped limb from limb, like his head is off. That's his big heroic stand. He's gonna hold the line so that other people can get away faster. And he's ripped apart.
Yeah. You have to explain that to me. There's a bunch of purple goop. I can tell it's supposed to be violent, but it doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I have that with some of it. The Twin Twist one is messed up. Where Topspin, I forget who's being tortured. But that's messed up.
I'm also not a robot guy.
I know. Yeah, I don't know.
This is not my forte.
No. Do you want to talk about Overlord before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's awesome.
He is awesome.
Yeah, he's, I don't know. It's weird that you have somebody that's, such a complete sadist, but I think he's interesting, where he doesn't seem like... He is kind of a one-dimensional bad guy, but he doesn't seem like a one-dimensional bad guy. I don't know.
I like that he doesn't have ambitions.
Yeah.
He's not trying to rule the world. He just wants to, murder
Maim
people.
And kill, yeah.
But also, he wants to kill Megatron. He wants to know that he can do that.
But isn't part of the reason he wants to kill Megatron also because Megatron, expects something particular from him and he doesn't want to give him that?
He's just what we told him to do. He just wants
that's
to
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's supposed to be one of the face savers.
And I really like the idea that Megatron tried to get rid of him because he didn't buy that he wasn't ambitious. He's like, well, that has to be...
He's gunning for me. He must be.
He's got to be coming after me. He's dealt with Starscream for too long.
But I also love that he...
Assuming Starscream's handled the same way in these.
He is. But I also love that he... that Megatron doesn't actually care that much. He sits on that rock for a year. And Megatron never, does not care.
And it's the end of the book before he realizes that Megatron's gone.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean he's gone?
Yeah. No, when he goes in and he murders that guy, he's like, you tell that Megatron I've chosen option 2. Megatron doesn't care. Megatron does not care that he picked option 2.
I love that scene a lot, that flashback.
Yeah, it's really good. All of the flashbacks of the Overlord are good, I think. I don't know what's interesting about Overlord. On paper, he shouldn't be.
You know what he is? He's almost like Dark Knight Rises Bane done right, because everybody knows that he's kind of full of crap, but he just says what he wants to say, and you know what I mean? I say full of crap. He keeps saying, do these things for entertainment, and that's his philosophy, but it's not really a philosophy. It's just he's just doing it for himself and so that he can be entertained. He uses his minions as kind of playthings and toys, and doesn't pretend like he has some bigger
he's just having fun.
Yeah.
So for anyone that hasn't read this, Overlord is this big evil transformer. He's taken over a prison, and he's turned the prison into like a gladiatorial.
Bane.
Yeah, and he's turned the prison.
But you see why I made that connection?
Yes.
Right?
No. Absolutely. He's turned the prison into this kind of gladiatorial
Like,
thing.
if Bane didn't pretend like he was doing a revolution, he'd be this guy.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And I would buy that he was too radical for Ra's al Ghul.
Oh yeah.
If he was Overlord.
No, Bane should have been Overlord.
Obviously.
Except the big difference between him and traditional Bane, it breaks down when you get to traditional Bane.
Yeah.
Because traditional Bane has ambition.
Yeah.
He wants to rule things, but like this guy, just to prove that he can do it.
Yeah.
So that is a thing they have in common. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
So
I compare everything to Bane.
So he takes over the prison, kind of turns it into.
We thought everything was Joker. Everything's actually Bane.
It kind of turns into like this gladiatorial arena, and it's horrifying. There's a scene early on that is really unsettling where it's two Autobots fighting. And he's like, "We're on the same side." He's like, "It doesn't matter here. I'm gonna kill you." And there's this big mystery about what happens. I forget what the number is. You win like 10 fights or 20 fights or something like that, and you get to like all Overlord says is, if you win this many fights, you will get the option to leave. You will be given a choice. And you can leave. And anyone that makes it that far, we never see them again. And then we find out the choice is you can either fight Overlord
Or leave.
No, or kill yourself.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what
you can fight Overlord or you can kill yourself. If you beat Overlord, you can leave. But you can't beat Overlord. He's the strongest.
You can see that's the false hope thing.
Yeah.
And it's like the walking out of the ice thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, his Dark Knight Rises Bane.
But better.
Yeah.
And way more fun. He probably has a silly voice, too.
No, him with Bane's voice would be the best. But I really like him. Just because he's so counterintuitive and not at all what you expect.
No, and they kind of build up to him. Like, you really don't know exactly what to expect of him before you get to him. Now things go from bad to much worse.
Bad to much worse.
Bad to much worse. He's great. He's so much fun. But yeah.
So, explain this to me, and I'm going to sound like an ignorant fool when I ask you this question.
Okay.
What, I get some of it.
And this should be animated, right? Like, this should be an animated movie?
Yeah. Like I said, it would be the perfect sequel to these
Yeah.
things. So, what is... I get some of it.
Okay.
But what really is the difference in code between the Wreckers and the Autobots? Because a lot of what they say in their, six-prong mantra sounds like stuff the Autobots would say.
Well, they are Autobots.
Right.
They're a subsect.
But then some of that would be kind of redundant. Like the whole, never leave a man behind and stuff, isn't that what Autobots already do? It seemed like they were trying to separate them from, this is how we're different from Autobots. And I wasn't getting that.
I don't know if it's...
But what's the point of spelling out anything that's the same as all the other Autobots that you're already familiar with?
Because it's a brotherhood thing.
Okay. I like that they talk about how difficult that is, where they'll tell you a part of the code, and then they'll show someone not following it.
Yeah. It'd be like the Navy SEALs, they're the elite, the few, the proud. No, sorry, the Marines. The few, the proud, the Marines. It wouldn't be weird if the Marines had never leave a man behind in their code. The other soldiers are also not supposed to do it, but they're even better than that.
It would be if you'd followed regular soldiers for a bunch of issues in a comic book, and then suddenly you had this elite team.
Yeah.
And, if you're, because I'm sure that book deals with the Autobot philosophy, and then you get to them, and it's our philosophy's about the same, but we have.
But they're supposed to be the best.
Okay.
And that's part of, I guess, the big revelation of the book, at least for Iron Fist, is I thought these were the not just the best soldiers, but people. These are legends. They're great. They're more than men. And they're not.
So what's with the Fistatron nickname?
I don't know.
Why does he have that?
Well, so people don't know it's him. It's like Captain Logan. It's an internet pen name.
Okay.
So Fistatron is
because it sounds like a Decepticon name.
Yeah, kind of. Fistatron is...
That threw me off for a minute. So I was like, I don't think there's Autobots that go
he's
Tron.
dead in this, and I'm pretty sure he's in More Than Meets the Eye.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he's not actually dead. Or they fix him or something. I'm pretty sure he's kicked around More Than Meets the Eye. But
like I thought at first it was like a pejorative, and then they kept calling him that like normally.
no. So Fistron is just like his online tag. So like everyone knows Fistatron writes about the Wreckers, but they didn't necessarily know that Fistron was Iron Fist. That's all that is.
I made a post on Facebook about that.
Did you? I didn't see it.
I was like, man, I already thought that the Netflix show got like really far away from source material.
Yeah, I did see that.
But I didn't know he was supposed to be a Transformer.
Yep.
Iron Fist, one word.
That must come. Oh, that's probably how they get around it, isn't it?
He's interesting.
I like him. I like him a lot.
I liked him.
I'm almost positive he's in More Than Meets the Eye. And there's a thing. No, he has to be, because there's a thing where it's Fistatronisms, where like he has writing quirks that like everyone is aware of. Like you always say this. This is how you word. If you're going to talk about this kind of thing, you always word it this way. Like he has writing quirks that everyone knows about.
That's fun.
And they make fun of him for it, things like that. Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to make sure and mention before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so.
Did you have any like major criticisms?
No, I don't think so. I don't know why Verity's there, other than like that she can be the one that says the thing at the end, where it's like this is what the story is about. Like, other than that, no, nothing.
I can't remember who it is. One of the Transformers calls her something like Miss Liability, which I liked a lot.
Other than that, I mean,
like she stows away, and she really is a liability. Like,
yeah,
she makes a big deal out of like, look how capable I am and stuff. And then there's the I don't remember these characters' names.
Yeah.
There's the Autobot that's like I had this with 86 too. I had to watch that movie 4 times before I knew what anybody was called. Because they all look the same to me. But I'm Transformers racist. And speaking of that, there's that like robo-sexist line.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Where somebody's like, I guess you're here to clean things, and she's like,
yeah.
She's like, you're sexist and a robot.
No, well, like I say, she doesn't have to be there. She's actually really important to the story.
You think?
She's the conscience of the team. She's the one that has them sit down, like, talk it out when they're making the decision.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I just think it's really powerful.
I also like having at least one human for scale.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, I always think the Transformers are smaller than they are.
That's
because you have the relative size thing where obviously everything they build is going to be for themselves, so it feels like, it's like if you were with, anthropomorphized mice all the time and then suddenly you saw a human.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool like action stuff in this.
Yeah.
I like to have them hit the thing at the same time, hitting the weak points at the same time so they can go through, and the brain bullets. I like the brain bullets. Those are fun. I want those in first-person shooters. It would make my life a lot easier. If I just had bullets that no matter where you shot, they always went to the head.
No, you made my big point for me, which is I'm desperate to see this animated.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the big thing I had at the end. Was I was like, because like these guys are doing a remarkable job. I just don't think comics is the best medium for Transformers.
That's fair. They also barely transform.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
There's a little bit of that from getting from here to there, but they don't transform a lot.
I feel like that's the case with every little bit.
I don't think you even see Overlord's transformation.
No, what does he turn into?
I think it's a tank or a plane. Overlord is kind of a big deal, being in that he is from one of the Japanese exclusive shows.
Oh.
We don't even get an Overlord toy. I think we've got it at this point, but
this series will make up characters, right?
I don't think Wreckers did. I'm pretty sure everyone in Wreckers. Well, maybe.
I don't mean Wreckers. I just mean the IDW Transformers.
Yeah, IDW has made up characters. There's one called Run that's in James Roberts. That's he's the Transformers psychiatrist. And then they also get Freud, and they argue a bunch.
If they ever make Dispenser a major character, man, I'll read that.
Maybe in the reboot.
They have a 6-man team one of them is Dispenser, and he's like, they can't license.
It's not Mountain Dew. It's like Hill Lightning or something. What's the one that fooled you? Was it Mountain Ale?
Don't even talk to me about that. It's I forget what that is, but yeah. When I was a kid, there was a generic Mountain Dew we drank called Mountain Lightning.
That's
Walmart.
That's Walmart.
Kroger.
Yeah. No, it's
Walmart.
Walmart.
Okay.
Because I know that one.
Yeah.
So it's not Kroger.
Well, you probably have something that Kroger owns in Florida that you don't realize is owned by Kroger. because Kroger owns
Yes.
a lot of
They own
different
the
chains.
Dixie Republic's one of them.
Yeah. But anyway, I
Yeah.
digress. Well, folks, thanks a lot for watching. Sure appreciate it. And I need to read that again because I didn't pick up on everything, and I had to read it kind of in a hurry for this. And so, like, I was real timid coming into this, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I need to
it's
look at it
good.
again. But folks, thanks a lot for watching. Like I said, we sure appreciate it. We're going to go on now to another. As soon as I can get my language together, we're going to go on now to another comic vault, and we're going to review the next trade we have to do in Ultimate Spider-Man. We're trying to do one of these every show, so we're going to go ahead and do Volume 3. This is a
Trouble is what it's
hardcover
called.
with a couple of these,
Yes, this has
In it.
3 and 4 in that.
but we're doing the third volume.
Yeah, which is called Double Trouble.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, move along with us on the Omnibus playlist, and in the meantime, thanks a lot for watching, folks. I am Captain Logan,
And I'm Eric.
and we'll see you again in a bit.